All right.
Boom. Now I'm here.
All right, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Before we begin, I want you to see this commercial.
Yo, this is my guy Eric Smith with Winning Strategies. And you guys already know I would not be representing anybody who did not affiliate with Father's Rights. Call my man at 443-768-8158. And if you need to email him because of correspondence you need him to look at, it's winningstrategies.fcc@gmail.com. This is Dads for the Win. It's your boy Norm. See you in another video.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Tonight, I have one of my guests on right now. This is Mr. Omari. He is, I'll say, one of the premier dads that we've had, okay, in our nonprofit agency. This gentleman listened to us and he represented himself and he got full custody of his daughter. All right. I'm not going to uh, take up too much of his time because he agreed to come on at the last minute. All right. So, Amari, I want you to tell them your story and how you came to contact us and go through the whole process and have your daughter in your custody. All right.
Excuse me. Sure. So me and my daughter's mother, we had a we so when my daughter was born, we were still together. Everything was good. Then we split, and of course that's when problems started. She pretty much took the route of, well, if we weren't going to be together, she just went on and was doing her own thing. She started like dropping my daughter off to me, claiming like, oh, my mental isn't right. I just need some time away. I just need this. I need that. And I'm just like, okay, give me my baby. Bring my baby. I got her. That's good. Then she did. She moved out of state on false pretenses. Had me thinking she was moving out of state to get a job. Realistically, she just moved away with another guy. And it wasn't a thing that, it wasn't like an emotional type of thing of relationship, but it's like you left your daughter here. You're not sending any money. You're not checking up on her. You have no responsibility. Basically, you just left. So when she came back after being gone for months, mind you, she was gone for months, and then just wanted to come back and just pick up where she left off. And I'm talking, this was going on for probably about half a year to a year. So I was just saying, let's take things slow. You haven't seen your daughter in a while. You can come see her on weekends, do this, do that, and she just wasn't with it. She threatened to go to courts, which I never wanted to do. But she served me, she had me served, and I started looking for lawyers. And lawyers are very expensive. The one lawyer I looked at was looking at I want to say it was a $5,000 retainer fee. And that was, of course, out of my budget. So I found Eric through Facebook. I reached out to Eric. He came to me the same day. I think it was that same evening he came to me, and I explained to him my situation. And from then on, it was seamless. He told me how the process was, what this document meant, what that document means. I gave him all my information. He coached me through everything. Filed my paperwork. Of course, I had to do the work of providing my own evidence, giving Eric the tools that he needed to help me. And yeah, it was very smooth. We went through mediation. We couldn't mediate, so we ended up going to court. And the facts pretty much spoke for themselves. And I was able to gain custody of my daughter. And at first, it was joint, and that worked for a little while. And then the joint custody involved her mother getting her for specific days. Now, after a while, her mother stopped getting her on those specific days. So I said, well, since you're not abiding by what the court, what you agreed to with the courts, and she's here with me all the time anyway, I went for everything. I ended up getting full physical custody, full legal custody. And even when as far as putting her on child support, now that came much later. I waited long. I didn't really want to do it, but she pretty much left me no choice. And yeah, I have full physical custody of my daughter. She lives with me. I take her to school. I put in extracurricular activities. I'm everything. I have everything. And of course, I still let her mother see her when she wants to, but she's got a lot of growing up to do on her own. And I'm not her father. I'm Ari's father. So that's something she got to work on her own. But winning strategies gave me the confidence and the tools I needed in order to gain what I was seeking, even with the mock trial, with just conversations and just support all around. So without winning strategies, I have no idea where the situation would have ended up.
So, being as though you was with winning strategies, fatherhood, the courts and custody, being as though um, you saved yourself um, a
Thousands.
pretty penny,
Yeah. Yes.
and you wind up beating her attorney. Okay,
Oh yes, I forgot
she
to
had an
mention that.
attorney.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Yes, I forgot to mention that she had a paid attorney. Who I did my own research and found out she was a tax attorney, but somehow she was representing her still, and so it was me representing myself against a paid attorney for somebody who went to school for this, studied this, has been in this field for years. And the most, court I ever represented myself in was like traffic court. So yeah, with winning strategies, I was able to beat a paid lawyer. Yes. I don't know how I forgot to mention that. That was the most powerful thing right there. Yeah. Yep.
So, this whole shenanigans with fathers' rights and um, everything that's going on in Maryland, it's really crazy right about now.
Yes, sir.
And recently, did you hear about the father in Washington County?
I don't believe so. What happened?
You ready for this?
Sure.
The father filed for the divorce, and
Okay.
he also filed for to get custody of his children. The judge turned around and gave the mother controlling custody of everything. He had to pay her. Well, on the day that they were supposed to go to court and make everything final, the judge was murdered. The judge was murdered by the father
What?
in his driveway at his house while his child and his wife was in the house.
I did not. I don't know how I don't know how I didn't hear about this. What?
I have had conversations with other child support rights groups and other custody rights groups, and I was trying to get access to the paperwork. So, in order for me to gain access to paperwork when it's dealing with fathers and being there with press releases, I gotta apply for a press pass.
Okay.
Now, he
That's crazy.
murdered the judge because the judge filed against him. Okay, not filed against him, ruled against him.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and so he was so upset that he found the only recourse or the only, might as well say, uh, vengeance was to murder the judge because he felt as though the judge shouldn't have done that.
How recent was this?
3 weeks ago.
Oh, that is crazy. But I mean, I can tell you that I mean that feeling, that is a feeling. Now most won't go through won't go that far, but that feeling, yeah, I can understand wanting, to take matters into your own hands. But God dang, bro.
Now,
Mm,
you sort of know my story. Okay,
yes.
I help fathers because of what I go through or what I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I'll say one of my or the best glory I had was when I wrote an appeal against a magistrate's decision on me. I wrote it, not an attorney or lawyer. I wrote it. Okay.
Remember that.
I researched it. I went to the law library. I was downloading. I put everything together, and I was looking. I was like, she shouldn't have did that. That wasn't right. So I put everything together, and I went to the clerk's office, and she was like, "Okay, where's your certificate of service?" I'm like, I didn't know I needed one." She said, "Yes, you do. Here, fill this out. Take this up there because she had to be served." Okay.
Okay.
And I told somebody to deliver it to her chambers. Okay. Give it to our clerk, and the clerk gave it to her. Next thing I know, I had to order the transcript. Okay. Me being me, I didn't know because in the Maryland law, it says you can just get the transcript. Okay. The transcript, they give you two options: CD and printed. It doesn't say that you have to have it printed, okay, for them to
Okay.
get. I took the less expensive route since I was following myself. I ordered the CD. Okay. They told me that was wrong. I had to go through, get somebody to get it for me, and then do that. I did the work. I did the work. That's how I encouraged you to do the work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As the father. Okay. Now, let's fast forward. You go through the sessions with us. You get the information, you get the knowledge. I have to say, one of the biggest turning points in your case, in your situation, was your mock trial. Okay.
Yeah.
your
Yes,
mock
sir.
trial. Your mock trial gave you that inspiration, that feeling of how you are supposed to do things. Am I
Mm-hmm.
correct?
100%.
You want to talk about that?
Sure. So, um, the mock trial was set up, and this was all still during COVID. So it was everything was through Zoom, and I believe you had a who was serving as a judge. He was a lawyer. He was a family law lawyer, I believe, and he served as the judge. And I'm going through, presenting my case, telling my story, and his questions were very challenging. It wasn't just, oh, I breezed right through that. I just said what I needed to say, and everything was cool. He was asking me questions, and I really had to think about how I needed to portray, my story and everything that I, was trying to get across to the judge. And that there was the ending that was most important. Excuse me, because that's when everybody was able to critique. And I believe it was your wife who was like, don't use the word as much. And the guy you had serving as a lawyer was, don't use the word abandonment. That's a big term. Without that, I would have went in there saying I would have went in there using words that I shouldn't be using. It probably would have just went all the way left. But the main thing I gained from it was that when the court started, I don't know how to call it. They've been going through COVID, but when the meeting started, the court meeting started,
The Zoom
I was
session.
ready. I wasn't nervous. The whole time I was nervous, like this lawyer gonna eat me up. She gonna start using big words. I don't know what she's talking about. The judge gonna realize that I'm not prepared, and they just gonna chew me up, spit me out. That was my thought. But after that mock trial, I was ready. I remember afterwards, I took the meeting upstairs, and I came downstairs with my girl, and I was like, "Yeah, let's go. I'm ready to do this." And yeah, I went in there. I stood up straight, telling exactly what it is. I had evidence, and that was another thing too that was powerful. You told me how to construct my evidence to send to you. I had files like text messages, screenshots, title each file, put them in a folder of everything in this folder happened in March about this. Everything in this folder was after she got back about this. Send it to him. So the judge had everything. To this day, I don't even know if she looked at everything before the case, but everything I said, I knew I could back it up. I didn't bring up anything that I didn't have evidence on. I think that was another powerful move right there, having all the evidence. Because I mean, she didn't have any evidence. It was her word against mine, and I had evidence and also confidence. That also speak volumes. So yeah, after that mock trial, boy, I was ready. I was ready.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You are a father that has gone through the process. Okay, you
Mhm.
even put yourself out there to help be willing to help other fathers go through this.
Daily.
Okay, now since you have put yourself out there to help other fathers go through this, what would be your words or your inspirations to them if they were going to stay in front of a judge or a magistrate about custody or child support?
Am I speaking to a father with winning strategies behind them, or am I speaking to a father just doing this on their own?
Both.
Okay, speaking to a father with winning strategies behind them, I would tell them, don't be afraid to do the work. This is not Eric calling the judge and getting you a clean slate. This is not Eric representing you in the courtroom. You have to do the work. You have to supply that evidence. You have to have dates. You have to have a timeline. You have to do the work. You have to fill out the paperwork. You have to email it to Eric. You have to, send him what documents that you need. You have to do the work. That's the main thing I would say, because a lot of fathers I try to help out, and Eric, they come to you and you tell them what it is, and they're like, okay, cool, the money is fine, I can pay it. But as soon as they got to do the work, they fall off. That's the first thing that I would tell them. Don't be afraid to do the work, because I'm there in proof that it pays off. Now, speaking to a father without winning strategies behind them, I would say confidence, know your stuff, basically. Have your timeline. What First of all, know what you're going for. Know if you want joint custody, if you want full custody, if you want physical custody or legal custody. That's the first thing that you have to start with. Know what you want, and then learn the laws behind how to get it. So firstly, start with what you're trying to gain. Learn the laws behind what you're trying to gain, because a lot of people, this is just one example. A lot of people confuse custody and child support like it's synonymous. It's not. So learn the laws behind it, and it's not a criminal case. Don't be afraid of the judge. Don't be intimidated. Don't be intimidated by the lawyer. I represented myself against a paid lawyer, against a judge. Don't be intimidated. You know what you want. You know what you're fighting for is right. So fight for it. It's simple in the mind. Not saying it's simple work to do, but once you got your mindset right, it's a lot easier. It starts there.
Now, this is very important. I'm glad you said that. And we're live. So this is no cut cards or anything. Okay. We're
Okay.
live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We're
Okay.
actually live. So they hear everything. You have just said it. Do not be afraid of that person in that black robe.
Nope.
Okay? Do not be afraid of them. A lot of fathers get up there in front of them and they choke because they are sort of disrespectful to them. They are coming out of pocket, so to speak.
Hmm.
Okay? And let me tell you, when they start to come out of pocket, just say, excuse me, where's that in family law that you could talk to me like that?
Yeah. I remember
We're
you told
supposed
me
to
that.
be on a different topic, a different subject. Okay? Why are you coming off to me like that? They have to be willing. They have to be willing to
Mhm.
just say that. They won't be in contempt, okay? They won't, because they're actually doing the work. They're actually talking about their case. That judge or that magistrate is supposed to come at them with facts about the case. They don't want to.
Mhm.
Your father don't want to hear nothing that you really got to say. If it ain't according to law, keep your mouth shut, judge or magistrate.
Yeah,
Keep your mouth shut.
I remember you ran
All
into
right.
that.
So say again.
I said I remember you ran into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here I go again. Okay. Now I'm gonna talk about me. It's been 4 years since I've seen my son. 4 years. So I go back to court the last Monday of this month. Okay, I think it's the 27th. Okay, I go back to
Okay.
court. Yeah, it's the 27th. I go back to court for her contempt because she hasn't abided by the court
Right,
order.
right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so remember, I told you about this, right?
yeah. That's why I'm
And
like,
you was
I
fixing.
remember this. This about to be juicy right here. It's about to be juicy.
Come to find out, I did some more investigation with the help of Norman. You know
Okay.
Norman Nick
Norman
for the
next.
Norman Nick
Yep.
show. He investigated for me and found out the dude did that came on that page and posted what he posted
Hmm.
is my son's mother boyfriend.
Mm.
Okay, it's her boyfriend that posted on Winning Strategies page. He's he's talking about, well, why don't you um talk about spending time with your son? Dummy, your fiance has kept my son away from me for 4 years. You should know that.
Hmm.
You live with
Yeah, but also, um, he, he doesn't know the full story. She's giving him the cake. She's not telling him the full. Can't be, because if she was, there's no way a sane person would comment like that. He don't know the full story, and for that reason alone, he should have never spoke on it. When I dealt with that
him.
with
Thank you.
my situation, that mother wasn't telling everybody the full. Her family hated me at one point. Thought I was keeping her away from her, not letting her see her. And then when we finally sat down, got to talking, I'm invited to every family function. I'm at the cookouts. I'm yeah, I'm good now. They don't tell a full story. That's proven.
So now, this is what I also started um doing with the fathers who come to us and wanting help. I'm gonna show it to you.
Okay.
See this? It's
All right, forgive
called
me zooming my face in. Let me get a little closer to this. Okay, online. Okay.
all right. It's called Fathering in 15 because it actually takes you 15 minutes to read over and do the work, okay? And know what you're going for, knowing what you have to do. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Remember how I used to tell you you gotta look this up, you gotta read this, you gotta read that?
Yep.
This program helps you from point A to point B. And you know what the beauty of the program is?
It's free.
It's free. And they get a certificate. And listen, they get a certificate to present. I went through a national program from the National Fatherhood Initiative to say that I have every right, just as the mother, to have custody of my, I can co-parent, not custody, co-parent with my child's mother.
Wait, so they get the certificate. They can present this. So they present this with their case to the judge.
Yes.
That's crazy. So that alleviates a lot of that in the air type of don't know what the judge going to do, don't know where it's coming from, thinking, oh, they're going to side with the mother. The mother's going to get this, mother's going to get that. Now, when I had the certificate, you can't just because it's the mother, you can't just do that.
Thank you.
That's a game changer. That's a game changer.
Now, how many? Now, you have gone through the process when we were just baby steps getting off. Okay, we had just got our
Mm-hmm.
501c3. All right. Now you've progressed. You've been through it. You're willing to help fathers go through it. But look at this. It says you can access Fathering and 15 online learning site from any computer or mobile device anytime.
From your phone, your tablet, computer. Yeah, this is nice. I wish I had this when I was coming through it.
Now I'm gonna show you something else. I'm gonna pull something else up. Okay,
Vital topics of
I
staff to
purchased
discuss.
this other program, okay,
Mm-hmm.
for to discuss with fathers, um, and different areas. Okay, I got an opportunity to look at this before I purchased it. All right,
Okay.
because I wanted to be there to share with fathers what's actually going on, how to deal with certain stuff, how to look at everything, and let me try to zoom in on it.
I already started. As soon as it
Okay,
popped up, I'm zooming in on it. Okay,
all right,
introduction, who we are,
all right.
fathering, origin, fathering skills, child development, raising boys, raising girls. Topic 5, that's a good one. Topic 6, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yo, the deeper it gets, this is yeah. Even though I done went through it, I want to go through these. I want to see these. Yeah, intimacy. Yeah, I still want to go. Even though I've been through it, I still want to. I still want to go through these. I want to read them.
Okay, all right. Um, yeah. Okay, so you know, winning strategies is not just playing games with this. Okay, we're not just here to waste your time. Okay, you said you want custody rights to your child. You said you want to be a co-parent. Now, let's see what you're going to do.
Hmm.
Don't fall off.
How bad you want it?
Don't.
How much is it worth to you?
Right.
Basically.
And Mari, for a fact.
Yep. I already know where you're going. I already know where you're going with it.
We do not, and I'm going to say it again. We do not charge no outrageous, outlandish, whatever fee. Okay? You pay for the service that you get and you pay for everything. Only thing that I found out that I couldn't do for you at the tail end because we aren't attorneys. They told me I couldn't send your paperwork down there. You remember I told you you had to go down there and
Hmm.
take it yourself.
Yep.
You
And I
said
did it
all the way to Annapolis.
all the way to Annapolis. Where I done been to Annapolis so many times, man. But hey, it'll show you how much it's worth to me. I could have been like, man, that's too far. I ain't doing that. I ain't no. I said, tell me where. I took it. Had you on the
Right.
phone, ask a question. Do I take it to this person, that person? Walk me through the whole thing. But people don't want to do the work. They look at winning strategies. And sorry if I'm taking a turn off where you're going at, but I feel like they look at winning strategies like a lawyer, whereas though they just tell them the story one time and just expect them to just do all of this work, filing all these people. You just show up to court and your lawyer do the talking for you while you just sit there. It ain't like that. And realistically, if you fighting for custody, you don't want that. I didn't. Can't nobody talk my story like I can. Can't nobody fight for my daughter like I can. I'd rather represent myself. So if you don't want to do the work, you might as well just take whatever coming to you. Really, I mean, it's that simple. You don't want to work
Right.
for it, get what you get, and that's what you
Now
get.
I'm gonna flip through some of this.
Hmm. Let me get back in now. So what does NFI mean?
National Fatherhood Initiative. They're
Okay.
right here in Maryland.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Low intensity resources, brochures.
Now I wanna get this program, and I have to be trained on it. It's called the Inside Out Dad Guide for Family Tips. I had to go through the training to work with dads who are coming out or about to come out of a penal system. Okay. And
Okay.
they want to be uh productive dads. All right. I want to
That's
do this
big.
because this is what's needed. Okay. I did a presentation Saturday for this program called Drum. Okay. And the fathers who were there, they took, I mean, it was my father there. He was writing down notes on the flyer saying, hey, how can I get the information? How can I do this? What's going on? And I'm like, listen, familiarize yourself with your rights, as I told you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. And think about it. I'm like, you can't really be charged, or you can't really allow them to give you the how can I say it, the laws for today if your child was born back then. Okay, so
Okay.
things are different for back then. You just have to go about and put yourself and say and get a letter say you want to be grandfathered for when your child was born. So you follow the laws from when your child was born, not the 2023 laws. You follow?
Right. Yep.
Now, this is what I like, the family origin part. Okay, so it talks about, and I'm sorry for because I got the sample edition up right now.
Oh, you
Talks
good. You
about
good.
fathers own often, I mean, a father's own father is often the most powerful influence in shaping how he fathers his children.
Correct.
Okay,
Hmm.
so if your father wasn't there, I don't want that to be an excuse for you not being there for your child or your children.
Right.
Okay, I had to go through that. Okay, however, it's all about forgiveness, and you can't really grow until you forgive. All right.
Okay.
So, because I knew my daughter is, let's see, my daughter is 34 now. Okay. Yes, I have a 34-year-old. Uh, so um, and I had custody of her. Okay. I had to have an extra bedroom for her. Okay.
Hmm.
I did everything. She used to swim for Baltimore City Swim Club. I put her in a lot of things. Okay.
Okay.
She said, Daddy, I don't got the hand-eye coordination for softballs. So,
Okay.
we went through that. So it was because I missed that with my dad or my father. I didn't want to let that be a hindrance to my daughter coming up. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course. Of course.
So let me finish going through this real quick. And see, look, basic questions for father. What fathering knowledge, attitudes, values, and skills did I learn from my father? And they're gonna have to, and I want them to be honest when they answer this. Okay,
Hmm.
because this is a part of the assignment that they're gonna have separately from the other information. All right. What did I
Yeah,
learn from my mother about my fathers and fatherhood?
that's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good
What did
one.
I learn from my extended family? Who in my family or of origin was the most powerful influence on how I father my children? So this, I'll say, is a tool to help those fathers um, who want to become fathers. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah, like
help
it's deeper
those,
than just getting your goal accomplished, but actually giving you the tools to succeed as a father. That's what I like about this.
right,
I like that.
right. So I just want to say thank you for at least coming on board tonight, sharing your story about how things was for you, how things progress, what you've learned
So,
from winning strategies, and you wanting to be a support for those dads who are going through the exact same thing you have done, or they are
yeah.
facing something similar. Excuse me. There are dads out there that have been put up with the mothers threatening them with child support.
Of course.
Okay, and
Of course.
I'm like, um, don't let her threaten you like that.
I was
Okay,
threatened with it
once
before.
she come, huh?
I was threatened with it before. Ironically, I was threatened with child
so
support before.
so listen, I tell them this. Okay, she's threatening you with child support. You threaten her with child custody.
That's more
Now,
powerful.
child custody dictates your child support. Most
Yep.
fathers don't want to understand that. If
And
you can
remember, I
prove that
mentioned
you
that
can have
earlier.
your
I mentioned that earlier. A lot of fathers think it's synonymous. It's like the same thing. It's not. And you remember, hold on, let me take a quick break because I forgot to mention something else. I'm sorry, it's probably the second time I'm taking the turn off your path. I do apologize. But you remember
right,
when
right,
we were going for custody? We never mentioned child support until towards the end. And I was like, I want to do child support too. And you said, well, it's going to be risky because normally it's two different things. But you was like, we're going to throw the child support into your case. When you go to the judge, we're going to tell you, you're going for the custody and we're going to go for the child support. And you said it's a risk. She might, give you the custody and then tell you, you're going to need a separate hearing for child support. But the fact that she didn't show up to court, I really think looking at the judge's demeanor, she was pissed off about that. And she just wrapped it up into a bundle and I ended up getting custody and child support in the same hearing. Do you remember that? You was like, we're gonna slide it in and let's just see. But it's not guaranteed. And yeah, that's how that worked. I forgot to mention that as well. Like, you know what you're doing, bro. You know what you're doing. To say the least.
and,
Yeah, that was amazing.
and what people don't, when I tell them this, they think I'm lying to them. I'm like, no, I'm not lying to you. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not. I really not. I spend a lot of sleepless nights, okay, thinking about how to help fathers.
That's crazy.
Now, I don't want to keep you up, but I'm gonna tell you this. I have five, five,
Mhm.
five political people in the state of Maryland wanting to meet with me, wanting to hear how, no, not how, what winning strategies want to do to help the fatherhood situation so we don't have a situation like that happened in Washington County. I know a lot of fathers in Baltimore City want to deal with those family court magistrates and judges
I
because
told you.
they
Yeah.
gave them a raw deal.
I
This is
understand the
I
feeling.
titled this I titled this segment tonight "The New Deal." Okay, the New Deal, because fathers are tired of being taken advantage of. Fathers really don't know what they can do, and oh, I want you to tell them.
What's
I'm
that?
gonna put you back on screen. I want you to tell them where you was 2 weeks ago.
At the Raven Stadium.
Say again?
At the Raven Stadium,
Yes, doing what?
volunteering at the Papa John's concession stand, raising tips to put back into winning strategies to help fathers with financial needs of filing court papers and anything else cost related that a lot of fathers can't afford to get their goals accomplished.
Y'all hear this? He was there volunteering. Y'all see when I put stuff out there that asks for volunteers, we really don't get. Okay. Now I had other people come in to volunteer their time. It wasn't in that day, Omari. Didn't we sell all the pieces?
Yeah, towards the end, we sold out of
Right.
pepperoni. We had some cheese left, but the pepperonis was gone. Yeah, we was doing numbers. We was doing
Yeah.
numbers.
So, here with Winning Strategies, we don't get the funds or the donations to do what we really want to do. Okay. However, going into 2024, we want to do a an amazing dad race. You heard about the amazing race on TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to do an amazing dad race where dads get to spend time with their children, okay, going through certain obstacles, conquering certain things, talking their way through, having that communication, building on that communication so they can be the father that they know they can be if they were only given the opportunity.
I
All
like
right.
that too.
We want to provide, I'll say, because a lot of dads are getting weekend visitation
Mm,
every other weekend at that.
mm,
Okay.
can
So
imagine.
if we can provide services to show what they're doing on the weekends, that means that they can strengthen their case to go back to court, say, I've done what I did on the weekends. I feel as though I need to have my child more,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes, sir.
So, we're trying to do a lot here. I have to thank publicly again, my wife, because she stuck by me. She has been there. I have to thank my homeboy Q for those two gave me that inspiration to put this nonprofit together. They gave me this inspiration to go out looking and searching for fathers. And I told you about the one father who did I tell you about the father, the first client we had? He found out. You ready for this?
I think so.
He found out he wasn't the father of the child.
How many years in is this? That matters. Like how old was the child?
7.
Ooh. Ooh. That's tough.
No, but here's the hit. Here's the hit. One, okay. I put my request in to have uh, a DNA test or blood test for my son because his mother was keeping him away. Okay,
Okay.
so that said to me was, "Is that my child? You keeping him away from me?" So this was the early stages, right?
Got you.
Like 3 years ago. Yeah, he put his in same court. His got granted. His got granted. Mine didn't. So that tells you there's some biasness going down in that Baltimore City family court.
Definitely.
If they're supposed to be following the same law, okay, and the law states every man is due one blood test until the child turns 18, regardless if he signed the affidavit of parentage or not.
Right.
Every father gets one blood test.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every father should get that blood test. You know why? You know why,
Why?
Omar?
Why?
30, I think it's 30 to 35% of the men that's on the birth certificate is not the father of the child.
I didn't. That's a pretty big percentage for that topic. That's crazy. I never knew that. And is this so? How what is the percentage of that 35? What percentage you think that is? That's like unknowingly about 30.
I mean, what you mean unknown? 35%?
No, I mean like how many fathers on the birth certificate? Because I mean sometimes some fathers sign a birth certificate knowing that's not their kid because that's their girl or whatever. But I'm pretty sure the majority of that percentage fathers don't know. That's crazy. I'd be devastated. And at 7 years old, you too deep in. You can't just be like, oh, that ain't my kid. I'm out of here. You too deep in at that
No,
point.
no, but here's the hit. He said he wants to stay in the child's life until she finds out who the child's father is.
How does that work?
He had so much a connection with this child, he wanted to stay around until she found out who the daughter's father really was, because he had so much of a connection.
I get that. That's not hard to fathom. I get that.
So
But what rights does he have with not being the father?
none,
Damn,
none.
that sucks.
Right. But and here's the hit though, Mark. He had one test done, and the magistrate said, I want you to take another one. I'm not sure.
What? Bruh.
Yeah.
No.
So
No.
listen, it's been real, it's been fun. If y'all need any work done on your car, O's Mobile Auto Service is there to assist you. Okay.
Right here in
He's
my
done
work.
work on my vehicle, he's done work on my wife's vehicle. All right. So reach out to O. Okay. He knows what he's doing. But I'd like to thank O for coming on for these last 48 minutes talking about joint custody, talking about the new deal fathers need to have, okay? And they can only get a new deal if they speak up. All
Yep.
right.
Closed mouths
Go
don't get
on that.
fed.
Right. Say it again.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
There you go. With that being said, I'm going to take it out like this.
Yo, this is my guy, Eric Smith with Winning
Yo.
Strategies. And you guys already know I would not be representing anybody who did not affiliate with Father's Rights. Call my man at 443-768-8158. And if you need to email him because of correspondence you need him to look at, it's winningstrategies.fcc@gmail.com. This is Dads for the Win. It's your boy Norm. See you in another video.
That being said, Omari, you have a good night, man.
You too, man. Thank you. I appreciate you, man, for everything.